Okie dokie. So I've always wanted to be in a book club, start a book club, something to do with a book club. And so I decided why not just start my own book club on here. So this is the August video of my book club. I made a post at the beginning of August. Hopefully I'll do it the month before so that you can get the book before we start reading it. Talking about the book, which is Lovely War, and then I broke the chapters down into 4-week sections, and you read each section by that week, and then I post my thoughts, and then you can comment your thoughts, and then at the end of the month I'm posting a video, which is this, that has all of my thoughts in video form, and I'll put in little sections of the weeks that you had to read for, if that makes sense. So you can read along with me through the comments in the posting, or through the video, or through both. I'm reading Lovely War by Julie Berry. So this is about Hazel, James, Aubrey, and Colette, and they are all different characters. They're kind of following two separate stories that end up meeting, I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I haven't read any yet, in during World War I, and the narrators are different gods and goddesses. It sounds really interesting, and it sounds like a good twist on a historical fiction, so I'm really, really excited. I want to read more historical fiction, so I chose a historical fiction, but it's kind of like a historical fiction with a twist, and this is full spoilers, but it'll be in chronological order, if that makes sense. So this is the August books. Okie dokie. So I read the first section. I didn't really have any in-between thoughts because it's only like 90 pages and I wasn't home, nor was I able to film any of my thoughts, so I'm just going to do them all at once. And anyway, so section 1, the writing of this book and just the descriptions, the simplicity of love, and just these small little actions that are happening between James and Hazel are just such a reminder of perspective and being in the present, and just it's just so sweet and endearing and beautiful. I'm just really enjoying it. I like how it's the different gods and goddesses are kind of narrating, and they have their in-between moments, and then it goes to the characters. I've read a little bit of each of the two stories so far, and definitely James and Hazel is my favorite so far, but it's only been like 1 or 2 chapters about Aubrey. I haven't even met the other character yet, but it reminds me a little bit, if you've seen the cartoon movie of Hercules, how Hades and the different characters kind of act, and there's humor and they're like joking around, and just the way they treat each other reminds me of Hercules. But then we have this beautiful, simple yet emotional love story forming and building, and it's just so beautiful. I love the structure of this book. We have letters and flashbacks, flash forwards, there's dates and times, random little sections, like the chapter of the questions where the questions were asked out loud, but then there were internal answers, I just really like when there's a unique format in a book, so I'm really liking that. On page 35, at least in my book, when they were talking about like, it's just a sappy love story about a boy who falls in love with a girl, and he goes and joins the fight in World War I, and they write letters, and then he goes through things and she goes through things, and it's a common everyday World War I love story. But like, it makes me think of Ice Princess, when the mom is like, well, you just like it because it makes you beautiful, and she goes, so what if it does? Because honestly, him saying that, so what if it does? Like, I think that is what Aphrodite is trying to explain, that it's about the perspective. And yeah, he kissed her on the cheek. That's all he did. But it was how she felt and how he felt and the action and how they replayed it a million times in their head and the emotion behind it. It's the simple acts, the simplicity of love and actions around love, but it means so much more depending on your perspective and to think about your perspective. Okay, yeah, they met, 3 times over the weekend, and now they're writing letters, but she gave him hope and a reason to fight back and to want to come home. Isn't that just beautiful? It's beautifully tragic, but it's so beautiful. So what if it is? So what if it is? The only thing that I'm not absolutely loving, and it's mostly just so far, and I feel like as the story progresses, I'll maybe understand more. And I do understand why Aphrodite and Apollo, I think, are telling these stories because they need to, like, she's like pleading her case or whatever. But I feel like the reasoning why is just not very strong. Ares says she's telling a story to explain to him why she's ditching him for me, why love loves war, so to speak. I don't know why she's pleading her case, if that makes sense. Like, I guess I just don't know why this is happening. I am enjoying the story, but why? I know why they're telling it, but why is there a judgment happening in the first place, if that makes sense? So that's where I'm at. Time for section 2. I was just sitting here reading, and I just find it so interesting that in this book, Hades and the concept of death is almost seen as a positive light, or just like your soul is entering a new space. And it's sad, it's very sad, but it's still inspirational and kind of hopeful. And I feel like in everything, books, shows, movies, even in informational texts, Hades is seen in such a negative light, and like going to the underworld and death is seen as such a negative thing. But it's so refreshing that the viewpoint of it is not necessarily negative. Like, yes, it is sad, but not necessarily, like, sadness is not necessarily negative. It's just painful, I would say. And it's very refreshing seeing Hades and the underworld and death seen in this light. And I am like, it kind of gives you like a hopeful feeling. I don't know, I like it. Also, Hazel and Aubrey, and honestly all 4 of them, because they all 4 have their own stories going on right now, and what they each are feeling and the emotions and just like the humor behind it. Aubrey, is that his name? Aubrey's so funny. I love his character. I actually love all 4 of the characters and the interactions they're having, and how these are almost interconnected standalone books or stories. Interconnected standalone stories, but it's all one book. And I'm really, really liking this. I find it very interesting, this little twist on the perspective and the story being told by the gods, and how, depending on whose story you're kind of following, and also what is happening in that chapter, who is telling the story. It's just a fun little twist, and you don't even really have to pay attention to it, but at the beginning of the chapters you'll see who's telling the story. And if you notice, it's just kind of like an insight into what is going to happen to in the chapter based on who is telling that part of the story. I'm just having a really good time. It is very emotional, and I feel like books on World War One or two, either of them, books in general, historical fiction books, have an undertone of sadness and just melancholy feelings. But I really like historical fiction. I just don't gravitate towards it very often. I kind of always put it on the back burner, kind of forget about it, but I'm just really enjoying this story and the emotional pull that I have towards these characters, and I'm just rooting for everybody, and I'm excited. There's not one category or like it's their chapter. I don't want to read this. I want to put the book down. I just want to keep reading, and I'm just having a good time. I don't want this to be true, but I feel it. I feel like Joey's going to die. I don't want him to die. I feel like he's going to die. No. Okay, cool. So I was right, and that's sad. That's terrible. The emotional pull of this story, and just the reminder of everything that has gone on in history. Not everything, but just the treatment of people and others, and just how history has gone, how people have treated each other and treated others, how people react to things, respond to things, just like everything. Just thinking back, it's so sad. I just want to give these characters big hugs. Just love them all, and I don't like when sad things, terrible things, when they're mean and just hatred. So much hatred and sad, just anger, sadness, just all those. It's a good reminder, but I just want to go into the book and be like, you shouldn't do that. Like, that's stupid. Don't do that. That's really awful of you to do that. Yes, go Hazel, go Colette, standing up to Mrs. Davies. She's awful. She's awful. She's literally awful. It's sad they have to go so they can't help bring joy to people, but glad they stood their ground and did not back down from how they felt. I love it. I love these girls. They are great. I want to be their friends. Poor Ellen, though. Now she's by herself. Like, I didn't really get to know Ellen, but she seemed like a sweet girl, and they were roommates. So, poor Ellen, but glad she at least got to say bye to her. Okay, I just finished week 3. And I feel like I'm getting whiplash from the stories. It's bouncing back and forth between the 4 stories. And I love it. I love the pace of how it's going. And you know when you're like reading a book and you have to cover the bottom page because you're trying to read as fast as you can because of the story and all the action, and you're trying not to skim and skip to the bottom of the page even though your brain just wants to, and you're like slowly like rising up into the air because you know something's about to happen. That's what was happening this entire section. So good. So good. I feel like this book would be a good recommendation for anyone. I get it's technically a romance, but there's just so much more to it, and the reminders that you get from reading this book and just the feelings expressed in this book, all the emotions, and the reminder of things involving human connection and interaction is just refreshing and beautiful and heartbreaking. So many emotions. I'm on the edge of my seat the entire time. Mrs. Davies, awful. She's horrible. She's horrible because, like, oh my gosh, have a little compassion and kindness. My goodness, she's awful. Awful. Where is Aubrey? Where's Aubrey? Can you come back, please? I need you to come back. Let's hop back into the story, please. Where did you go? Can this be a happy ending? I'm concerned. In my head, it'll be a bittersweet ending. It'll be kind of the best that can be, is kind of what I'm hoping for, because this is a very sad story. It follows a very sad premise, theme, historical situation that occurred, many different ones actually, and I know it'll be bittersweet. I hope there's some little crumbs of joy, little sweet nothings going on, but I'm excited. No. Please come back. Please come back. Okay, come back from the dead. It's okay. Come back from the dead. No. Okay, ignore the fact I'm sitting in my closet. The cicadas are so loud, I was trying to find a place that it might be quieter. I don't know if this is the place though. I finished it. I don't want to repeat the things that I've been saying this entire time again. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse. This book was so good. It was so good. This is going on my MeCore shelf. My top books, I would say top 10 favorite book of all time. The ending was beautiful and just sweet enough. It was realistic. I loved it. I loved every single character. I loved the different storylines and the unique perspectives that we got from different storylines. I feel like a lot of books talk about World War II, but not a lot, at least that I've read, have talked about World War I. So it was nice to find a story about that, and the interesting twist with the gods, and the ending with their story, the little historical background in the back with more reading information. I loved that. I might be checking some of of those books out. I just really, really, really enjoyed this book. It was beautiful. So many emotions, so many feelings. I just really, really, really liked this book. I feel like this entire year I have yet to find a book that has made me feel the way that this book has made me feel. And so I just said last week I wanted to find a book that was going to be put into my me core or my 6-star reads, or like if you think of me, you think of this book, or I would recommend this book changed my life. That's what me core is to me. So many different things, like I can explain it at a different time, but this is a me core book. If you've read this book or you followed along with me and read it with me in the chunks, what are your thoughts on it? I would love to hear your thoughts so we can discuss, because this was so much fun. But I want to hear other people's thoughts too. That's pretty much it. I didn't want to talk too much about it because I feel like I've been talking about it this whole time. Time to start a new book, which is also exciting. I hope you have the best day ever. I hope your day is magical.